Hello, Yam Fam! Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make an absolutely delicious banana bread recipe. Now, the original recipe is from a YouTube video that I got from allrecipes.com called Banana Bread. However, I did doctor it up a bit and make it a little bit sweeter. So you know, I like my beatus, guys. But if you guys are interested in learning this recipe, please consider watching what follows. And also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you make this recipe, let me know how you like it. Here we go! Hello, my yams! Today we're doing another cooking video with Amayame! And today we are going to be making banana bread! Who doesn't love banana bread? So my recipe comes from a all recipes recipe called banana bread, which is on YouTube, and I will link the video in the description below. But I do doctor it up a little bit. So first, I'm going to go over what we need to begin this wonderful banana bread. So over here we have a 9-inch greased up pan ready to go, and I just used butter because, you know, I don't like margarine or vegetable oil. I go with the real deal, y'all. We're not protecting our arteries here. If you have to watch your cholesterol, maybe substitute the butter for something else. But that's not how I roll. Next, we have very ripe bananas. I peeled them and put them in this handy dandy Pyrex container because, yeah, I just wanted to save a little bit of time and make this all neat and spiffy and ready to film. I measured everything out. Look at how professional this looks. Next, the original recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I go all out, baby. I got a full cup of dark brown sugar. I also add in a little bit of vanilla extract, just a splash. And then the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm doing what the recipe says for that because, you know, I don't want to mess it up. Then you have 2 eggs, and it calls for 1/2 cup of butter. I use a full cup of butter because, again, we ain't going light on this banana bread. And of course we have 2 cups of flour, and we have 1 Bibble demanding second breakfast. Which she is not going to get. Isn't that right, Bibble? Yeah. Anyway. Also, this is Bibble's water fountain right here. And I have lots of plants, as you can see. And that's where all my clean dishes are. I do not have a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher. Alright, so first things first, I'm trying to avoid poking Bibble with the tripod. Bibble! We're gonna get this right here and not stab the Bibble with it. Alright, so I have an old potato masher that, again, this is from like the 1940s, 1950s. From my dad's side, my grandparents, and it's supposed to be like a left-handed set. Been in the family a really long time. We're gonna mash these things up, and these are like really ripe. I mean, the peels they weren't totally black, but like a lot of black spots. Like, these bananas were ready to go, and the more you let the bananas ripen, the sweeter they get. So you definitely want to use overly ripe bananas for banana bread, because then you don't have to use as much sugar. Even though I use a lot of sugar, so I'm giving y'all the diabetes. Yeah, oh, yeah, also if you do have, you know, diabetes, maybe don't make this recipe. It's a lot of sugar in here. I don't know how much sugar, but you know, this is a very sweet, cakey banana bread. Alright, so mashing it up. Making sure it's all nice and goopy. And these bananas didn't take much to mash. They were pretty much ready. They're ready for the banana bread. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave that like that. Move this stuff over. Next, we're gonna take our softened butter. I just basically let this butter sit out for a little bit to soften up. But if you're pulling a stick of butter like right out of your fridge and it's super cold or something, you know, you could probably just microwave it a little bit. Not like totally liquefy it, but definitely get it soft. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take our brown sugar here. I like how it held the shape. That's amazing. This is really good stuff, by the way. So we're gonna take that and we're going to cream it with the butter. So basically just like mash them together. So I'm gonna just get a fork for that because I'm lazy. Like, I'm not using any fancy equipment, no blenders or anything. I'm just elbow grease, baby. So yeah, butter, sugar, cream them together. Yeah. Blah. Maybe I could have let the butter soften a little longer. It's still kind of like really solid. So you know what? I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to just chuck this in the microwave for a quick second. And I'm going to lick the fork because I'm disgusting. Oh my god, that's so good. Butter and brown sugar, yeah! We're gonna do this, just cue the elevator music. Do 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 do. Look at the Bibble squibble Bibble cat. She's a squibble Bibble blat. Hi, Bibble. You want banana bread? You want some? She knows the words you want. Gets her excited. I say, you want? And she's like, oh my god, am I gonna get food? Am I gonna get food? Woo! Alright, so this should be hopefully soft now. I had it in there for like a little under a minute. Oh yeah. I know I said don't totally melt the butter in the microwave, but this definitely helped. So now I can mix the butter and the brown sugar thoroughly together. Yay! Oh boy. That is so good. At this stage, it's totally safe to, you know, lick your spoon or your fork or your whisk or whatever, because it's just butter and sugar. However, what I'm going to do next, you're definitely not going to be licking anything unless you want to risk salmonella. So here we go. We're going to put those eggs in there, and we're going to beat the snot out of them, like so. Get those yolks broken. Get them all mixed up. You could also beat the eggs beforehand and then pour them in, but that's what the video says to do. But you know what? It's all going to become liquid mixed together anyway, so just whisk them vigorously. Get it all nice and thoroughly mixed up. And then I'm going to pour in a little bit of vanilla extract. And I use pure vanilla extract, so you know it's the real deal. I don't really measure it out. I just, you know, it's probably like a teaspoon worth. Just for that little extra flavor. Vanilla extract is great in like literally everything when it comes to baking. Alright, I think that is pretty well mixed. Now we're going to mix this into our bananas, like so. Just pour it on in there. I also try to do things making as few dishes as possible because I'm the one that has to wash these dishes, so pour that in there. Oh boy. That's some good stuff right there. Scoop that in there, yeah. And now I'm gonna mix all this. So basically this is the wet ingredients that we're doing right now, and then we're gonna do the dry ingredients next. And then we're going to combine them together. Just kind of mixing it all up. Mixy. And if it's like, you know, if you see like little lumps in your bananas, don't worry about it. Unless you're OCD and you have to blend it into like the finest of pastes. There's an evil fruit fly because, you know, it's attracted to these very ripe bananas. And they teleport out of existence every time you try to smack them. I swear they go in between dimensions. Okay, now we're taking our 2 cups of flour, our 1 teaspoon of baking soda, dump that in there, and our 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And whisk those things together. I'm just gonna grab a spoon here. I know I have a whisk, but I don't feel like having to clean that because like I said, I have to wash everything by hand. I would rather wash a spoon than a whisk. Whisks are a pain in the butt to clean. Yeah, right. So we got the dry ingredients mixed. That was super quick and easy. Now we're going to mix in our wet ingredients, and I am going to get a special kind of like spoon to like fold this in because the recipe says not to over mix it. Okay, so we got a rubber spatula here. This is a Pioneer Woman one from Walmart. And we are going to basically fold the wet ingredients into the flour and try not to overwork it because I don't really know. I don't understand baking stuff, but I guess it makes the banana bread fluffier if you don't like overwork it. But the way I see it is it all's got to get mixed together anyway, so I don't know. I'm not no expert. Baking is my weaker skill, so I don't pretend to understand why. So yeah, I'm just gonna dump this in. I know it looks kind of gross right now, but I promise, like, this is gonna be really delicious. I promise. So yeah, just mix all these things together. Mixy, mixy, mixy. Yeah. We're creating banana bread batter. So I basically just mix it until I don't see any more dry flour. So I don't know, you know, they're like, don't over mix it, mix it lightly, but it's like, you gotta make sure it's thoroughly mixed. So we're just gonna, you know, make sure we don't see any more white powdery flour, and then I think we're good, right? And Bipple's like, that's all well and good, but I want second breakfast. I want second breakfast. I know Bipple. She wants second breakfast. Yeah, I'm gonna mix it a little bit more vigorously here. Get all that flour incorporated. Now we have a really nice banana bread dough. And I like to use the rubber spoon because like you can really scrape like the sides of the bowl, you know, and really get in there. Make sure you don't miss any flour. And I think that's pretty much ready. So now the next step is just simply pour it into your greased pan. Now one thing to note is that the oven should be preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I live in America, I don't know Celsius, so if you live, you know, somewhere in another country where you're using the metric system and all that, you can just calculate what 350 degrees Fahrenheit is in Celsius. I don't know, no idea. Just don't burn your house down. That's all I can say. Okay, so now I'm going to try very carefully to get the dough in the bowl. I'm going to turn this a little bit and angle there, that's better. Oh my god, like the temptation to lick the spoon even with the raw eggs is really high. But it's like, you know, salmonella. It's unlikely, but you know, I'm still, you know, always a little worried about that. There we go. So I got pretty much everything in. And my oven is already preheated. So that looks absolutely wonderful. And the recipe says to cook this for 60 to 65 minutes. So basically when you can stick like a fork or a knife in it and it comes out clear and it's not covered in dough, like batter, then you know it's done. Alright, so oven. Of course the light just like went back off. This oven sucks. Anyway, we're opening the gates to hell. We're putting it in. Very carefully. Alright guys, we'll be back in an hour to see our banana bread. See you soon. Alright, and we are on the final stage. I took this bad boy out of the oven. It is totally done. It cooked for the full 65 minutes because I did poke it with the knife a few times until eventually the knife came out clear with nothing on it. And I took it out, let it cool, and now I'm going to cut a slice and show you guys how this looks. So it's not piping hot anymore. Let's get that out of there so I can actually handle it. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is beautiful. Woo! I'm excited for this. So what I like to do is I'm going to put it on a plate. Show this here. And I'm going to just chop that in half. And then I am going to spread some butter on there. I got Land O'Lakes spreadable butter with olive oil. It's my favorite butter. And then that's it. Bon appetit. Absolutely delicious. And you can still hear the bibble. She's meowing. Let me try this real quick. Oh my god. Mmm. That's amazing. That is so good. But not as good as this bibble. Bibble! Yeah, you guys get to have some bibble time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my banana bread recipe video, which wasn't really my recipe, but you know, I only doctored it a little bit. Banana! Pipple! You want? Yeah, you don't want that. But I do. That's really good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you make the banana bread and let me know how you like it. Bye bye.